So, Sudhakar, yours is an interesting story. You created a company, been successful, and then start a new company that just kapoots, and then you are in a new venture. Obviously, a lot has gone through. How you kept yourself motivated? How was you on to this? Because, as you said, one of the discussion you had is like, you like to struggle. That's it. That's the impression you gave me, actually, is that uncomfortable environment. I want to challenge myself. So when it's easier said than done, actually. Once you have seen good thing, ivory tower, and then suddenly start something, you fall. What keeps you going?
The only thing what I've done in my second venture, which actually went failed, is that I had a shower and decided that this is not working, and let me not fool myself thinking that this is going to work again. But ultimately, life has to move on, because I strongly believe that I am destined to do bigger things in life. Then I just started again. So, whether it is failure or success, it's a relative thing. Okay. So I think you have this element of what we call the zenness, where you are, you like the challenge, not the result. The result might be a success or a failure, doesn't really matter. But the process of creating an enterprise or ideating and doing something and then acquiring clients for your company and making it a real business is the biggest kick and the thrill that actually drives me. So now, as always, failure is not an option for me. So I have nothing else to do but to be an entrepreneur.
Interesting. So, because I know Sudhakar, yours is also a bootstrap company. Because your company was bootstrap initially before it got funded. We had a chat that you went through a lot of things, knocking on doors, didn't know how to get revenue. What kept you guys going, actually? What was in your mind? What was driving you? What was motivating you every day?
For us, one of the biggest motivation is the big long-term impact that we are going to have on the entire ecosystem. So when we started from day one, luckily I had the fortune to work with a company that was an ecosystem company, SAP. So I understood very fundamentally that if you have enough people who are feeding off the ecosystem, your ecosystem will outlive everything. So from day one, we wanted to create an ecosystem around this home buyer. And the first we brought in the post-purchase phase, which is the community. All the services that he wanted to connect to his neighbors. He wanted to pay his bills, etc. Everything there. And we also understood that there is a lot of challenge in this journey till the home buy has happened. So we built the entire product as an ecosystem. So we always knew that this particular product is going to be used by millions of Indians. This will be used by some of my friends and family, and I will help them make the most important decision of their life right. Home buying is the biggest investment that you do in your lifetime for majority of the people, and getting that right is one of the biggest concerns with everyone. So for us, it was very important to always know that we are going to solve a bigger problem. There is a bigger purpose in life. So we always knew, and we did not know how exactly it will going to happen. It is said right? If you already know that this is how the business is going to be, in all probability someone is already doing it. So we believe that we have a problem to solve, and we are taking the road less traveled. So no one had done in the world before. We are the first one who are doing. And till date, we are the only complete ecosystem from a home buyer perspective, end to end. We built this community base for first 3.5 years. Imagine a scenario that you have to go try to sell a software to a gated community, a bunch of volunteers who do not understand it that much, who does not have accountability for it, whose number one priority is not that, for free, right?
Yep.
So you are going out there and selling a software. It takes 2 to 3 months to get an appointment, and the longest cycle that I have seen is 4.5 years for closure. 4.5 years I followed for a software which is free, right? So how do you actually ensure? What kept us going? Definitely the impact that we are going to create, and the positive word of mouth that whoever was using our software was creating. On a day in, day out, on a daily grind in the initial days, as our software started getting better word of mouth, more people started trying it. And I used to call everyone who wanted to become the group moderator and spend about half an hour to 45 minutes with these amazing people. And these were amazing people, who's who of in their career. Someone is a CEO, someone is doing something for social. I had fantastic set of people that I used to interact with, and they told me that you are doing something which is very, very important in my life. That kept us going. 6 hours on phone, daily basis, besides the fact you have to run your business, manage the people and do the rest of the things also you are doing. But your customers are one of the best lifeblood that can be for your organization. That kept us going, saying yes, we are on the right track. A problem is getting solved bit by bit. The bigger story will unfold. For us, that nothing replaces that.
Interesting. So, a couple of things which I learned is obviously purpose, passion, and I think what importantly I've learned is that more than the results and outcome, you guys were enjoying the journey actually, and that's what is going on. That is kept you going. I think a lot of us just fall and get trapped into result. Am I being successful? Have I cracked the code? This is what it is. I think it's the journey which is, every entrepreneur is giving feedback to me, that's making the difference. We're almost to the time, but I think in the interest of audience, there are questions. I can see hand raised there. So if you can get the mic here.
How do you guys, so I think self-belief and humility and getting a right balance there is very important to kind of go to the journeys which are uncharted or the adventure that you have gone through in your life. Give us some maybe anecdotal example or something that you faced where you doubted yourself, or maybe, what gets you to keep that Zen stage in life or sanity in place. Because self-belief, if it goes down, it's a problem. If you don't have humility, you have a problem. So over to you.
If you talk about self-belief, I think as Rajeev just mentioned here, the journey is important, right? So you have to enjoy the journey. If you are enjoying the journey, the energy that you're getting from yourself and from the whole ecosystem around you is pretty positive. In case you are not enjoying it enough and you express a doubt to maybe the closest person in your ecosystem, he is ready to pull you down and keep you in a very safe spot, that you know what, I have this opportunity right open for you and this is pretty safe. If you can't do it, don't do it, right? So for me, it was, I had to keep the self-belief, and I was confident that this idea, having worked at Amazon, I knew that this need was definitely going to be there in the few years down the road, right? Who does it first was the question. We knew how to crack it. I knew how to analyze the numbers. So one of our CEOs at Amazon, I'll just quote him out here, that he told us that once you know what drives the number, you drive the numbers right? So for me, it was that first part of the equation was already solved. We will solve it. Now, anyhow, we are going to solve it. The humility part, I think that, yes, who are you, right? If you don't want to be humble, who are you? Right now, nobody knows my passport. And as I told you, I had to use my CMU and Amazon passport. Right now, if you compare, Amazon is there in India. But whatever I've learned from them, whatever I learned out of the experience that comes from there, I can never discount that. So you have to be humble enough, because your idea is your idea. Even though you fully believe in your idea, you have to sell it to somebody who doesn't have a need. You have to instill that trust that will come out of only positive energy and your self-belief. You have to instill the trust in your idea in the second party. Only then you can crack it. Otherwise, you cannot.
And I'd like to add one point here. Perseverance is probably the only difference between winners and losers. People start with a lot of self-confidence when they started, but along the way, when there are hurdles that comes in, people tend to lose their energy and confidence. And I believe perseverance is the only thing that really makes the difference between winners and losers. It's not the talent out there, because talent is out there in everyone. It's not the big idea, because ideas are dime a dozen, but it is all about execution. It's all about belief in yourself. So somewhere if people lose it down the way, then you're gone and out. So I think that's the thing that really makes the difference.
To add to his answer, there are two things that worked in our favor. First, we are three co-founders. At any point of time, at least two of them are on a high. So one goes down, the other ones brings him up, right? Second is the journey part. So everywhere we'll hear what the journey is, the journey, we'll enjoy the journey and stuff. Very frankly, while you are riding the wild horse, you don't really understand the journey, right? What actually is happening is something like this. Your product has broken down, your customer is yelling, fix it. There are the two guys who are sitting empty without doing a work, give them some work, right? There are 3 phones ringing, let me get that done. There are 5 emails that you have to reply back, and then you have to sit down and think about a proposal of a product that you just made up in the thin air. So by the time you end your day, you already have enough work for tomorrow to think about the journey, right? So that is what the journey is all about. You are just moving at the light speed. There are just so many things moving, thoughts moving, problem solving happening, that it's 7, 8 years nearly now. And even today, 24/7. At any point in the middle of the night, you will call me, I will be able to give you the right answer. And it used to happen to us, during one phase of our business model, we used to send out pamphlets in a newspaper and in apartments. So till night, 4 o'clock we will work, morning we will go, put the pamphlets. If the guy who was putting, so the way newspaper comes, I'm pretty sure most of you don't know, all these newspaper inserts come differently. So there is a main paper, then there are these sub papers, all of them are delivered by different vans. And there are these newspaper guys who will sit, and they will insert all of this along with your pamphlets. And they only have a time window of about half an hour or 40 minutes. And on weekends, they will have 5 to 10 inserts to put in. So we'll go there. If the guy has not come, we'll put the inserts and ensure that by 6:37 he has gone out delivering to those apartments. On the insert, you have your number. So by the time you come and try to sleep, your phone starts ringing again. And again, you're on the job. So that is what an entrepreneur's journey is. There is no room for doubt itself. In case you have started getting the doubt, probably you're not working hard enough. Very simple.
Good job. I do want to thank, but I just want to summarize. I think what I've learned is, I think you got to have a great purpose, and then go and tell your mother that you're leaving your job, and then God bless you, actually. So, then you have to ensure that you're better successful, or you're going to face her. And I think, second, instead of worrying about outcomes, just enjoy the journey. And I think that has been a big thing which I've learned from today's discussion. I do want to thank each one of you. Appreciate. I just want to take you through those who wants to know how to create a purpose. I just happened to come across this slide that made a lot of difference to me, actually, because a lot of time people says that, how do I find my purpose, what the purpose is? Have a look at it, and we just thank each one of these guys, actually. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.